Our top story at this hour after BRICS. Now, Quad seems to be reeling from the impact of Trump tariffs. Japan's top trade negotiator abruptly cancelled a planned visit to United States on Thursday, on 28th of August, causing further delays in negotiations which are aimed at finalizing a $550 billion investment package. The package offered by Tokyo is intended to secure tariff relief from Washington. And Ryoshi Akazawa had been hoping to go to Washington. There were plans to travel to Washington to formalize the written terms of deal, including how investment returns would be shared between the US and Japan, according to a government source who spoke to Reuters. Now, India, who's another important ally in Quad, is also facing steep tariffs from the US to the tune of 50%. Now, this raises the spectre as to why allies within the Quad are now facing US tariffs when US containment policy on China is based on Quad is now being weakened. The question being whether US is retreating from Indo-Pacific. All right, joining us on the show is Manish Chand, CEO, Center for Global India Insights. Manish, thank you very much for taking time out. It's a day with multiple news items coming to light as far as India's economy and US's foreign policy is concerned. But first up, a day after 50% tariff were imposed on Indian exports. EY report now coming to light suggesting India could be the second largest economy in the world by 2038. Are we to say at the moment that we are insulated from what's happening as far as tariffs is concerned?
We are not exactly insulated. The point is that this is very onerous tariffs, 50%. It will impact labor-intensive industries like gems, jewelry, leather, and textile exports and all that. But the government was expecting this to happen. So they have forced a diversification strategy, export diversification strategy, and so that to cut down on losses suffered by Indian exporters, especially medium scale, small and medium industries, which are exporting these to the US market and other places. There is a safeguard in place, but India's larger growth story is not going to be adversely impacted in the long run. And there are quite a few things we need to wait and watch.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to, of course, wait and watch. But resilience is what is expected, and that's what is being estimated at the moment. I have to ask you at this point in time, it does look like US is not just targeting India, but there's also a target on Quad. What are you making of Japan negotiations now stalling? And this is an abrupt stall.
Yeah, so it is somewhat similar to what happened to India. And one is not able to figure out, what is President Trump trying to achieve by alienating his close partners. Japan is an ally of the United States, and they were supposed to negotiate, the two sides were supposed to negotiate a massive investment package as a way out of this tariff stalemate. But the point is that with this kind of brutal transactionalism we are seeing right now, President Trump the Trump administration is not sparing any country, be it ally or a distant partner or whatever. So, there are larger questions here, which is this, that what is US trying to achieve through all this? Through weaponization of tariffs, especially when it directed against close allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific, in the Quad, Japan and India. And so, the cumulative result of all this would be, in a sense, weakening of the Quad as a pressure group against unilateralism and Chinese assertiveness. Ironically, Quad was supposed to be, and is supposed to act as a pressure group against Chinese assertiveness. But now what we are seeing is Chinese assertiveness and unilateralism. But now what we are seeing is U.S. unilateralism. So I don't know where it goes from there, and it is especially disturbing for India because it is invested so much in developing, nurturing this partnership, which President Obama famously called the defining partnership of the 21st century.
Right.
And more than 2.5 decades of consistent, systematic efforts have gone into turning around this relationship, and to see it unraveling like this is extremely disturbing.